It's easy to think the future is just something that happens to us. But who's actually building it? Well, let's dive into this. There's this great take from futurist Koh How Tze. The best way to predict the future is to go out and create it. But here's the thing. You can't create something great without a plan, right?
So yeah, you see this phrase a lot, that engineers are the builders of tomorrow. And that's true. But, it's not just them. We all have a part to play in this. We're all visionaries. We're all integrators in our own little ways. Basically, we're all architects of what's coming next. And of course, any architect, any builder needs a blueprint.
And that really is the big question, isn't it? If we're serious about building a better world, one that's sustainable and actually puts people first, where do you even begin? What does that master plan even look like?
All right, so before we jump into the what and the how of this blueprint, we really need to get a handle on the why. Why is having a clear, conscious direction so incredibly critical, especially right now?
I love this quote because it just nails the problem, right? Action without direction is disaster. Think about it. We have created some of the most powerful technologies in all of human history. But if we don't have a clear goal, all that power, all that action, it could easily spin out into a total disaster. It's kind of like having a super advanced rocket ship, but no navigation system. You've got all the power, but no idea where you're going.
So here's the bottom line. We need a shared destination. We've got to lay down the tracks that'll guide all of us on this journey together. Because if we don't, all this incredible technological momentum we built up could just fizzle out and lead us nowhere. Or even worse, take us somewhere we absolutely never wanted to go.
Okay, so we've established we need a direction. The big question is, what is it? So let's get into the what of our blueprint. Let's talk about defining some real, tangible goals for all of humanity.
And a really great place to start is with this idea called the true wealth hexagon. Now, when you hear wealth, you probably think about GDP or the stock market, right? Well, this isn't that. This is a totally different way of looking at what makes a society truly flourish. It's all about shifting our focus to what really, really matters, fundamental human needs.
And here they are, the 6 pillars of what a truly wealthy society looks like. Food, energy, education, shelter, healthcare, and, yeah, maybe this one's a little surprising, entertainment. The whole idea here is that a good life isn't just about surviving, right? It's also about culture and creativity and just joy. The argument is pretty simple, really. Any new policy, any new tech we create should be all about making sure everyone has access to these essentials. Okay, so on top of those basic needs, we can layer on a set of guiding values. And these come from a UN framework for sustainable development, which boils everything down to 5 core principles we can all live by.
And what's so cool about this is how these 5 Ps basically create a complete value system for our blueprint. It's all about putting people first, protecting the planet, making sure there's shared prosperity, and doing it all through peace and partnership. You could think of this as the moral compass for our entire journey.
All right, so we've got our destination, that true wealth for everyone, and we've got our compass with those 5 pillars. So now, let's talk about the how. What are the actual tools we have in our toolkit to build this thing?
Okay, first up in our ABCs, A is for AI. Just think of artificial intelligence as the smart engine driving this whole blueprint. It's what can analyze these incredibly complex systems, things like global supply chains or massive energy grids, so we can manage our resources way more effectively and ultimately make smarter decisions for a sustainable world. Next up, B is for blockchain. And really, this is all about building a foundation of trust. The simplest way to think about it is like a shared digital notebook that nobody can erase or secretly change. Once a transaction is in there, it's there for good, for everyone to see. And that creates this amazingly transparent and trustworthy system for everything from voting to tracking our food from the farm all the way to our table. And hey, let's be honest, this stuff can feel super complicated. I love how comedian John Oliver put it. Blockchain is everything you don't understand about money combined with everything you don't understand about computers. But really, behind all that complexity, the goal is actually super simple. Create a system of trust that we don't have to constantly second guess.
All right, moving on. C is for connectivity. And we're not just talking about the Internet of Things anymore. We're talking about the Internet of everything. Your car isn't just a car, it's a computer on wheels. Every device, every system, all of it networked together. And all that connectivity, well, it brings us to D for data. You've probably heard it called the new oil, right? And that's because it's the raw fuel for this entire system. But here's the catch. Raw data by itself isn't actually enough.
we have to refine it, just like oil. And this chart shows that journey perfectly. See, you start with just raw, scattered data points, kind of messy. Then you organize that into useful information. Then you connect that information together to build knowledge. From there, you interpret that knowledge to get some real insight. And finally, this is the most important step, you apply those insights with experience to achieve wisdom. That's the real endgame here.
And that brings us to E. And honestly, this might be the most important letter of them all. E is for ethics. This isn't just another tool in the box. Think of it as the operating system, the framework that has to guide how we use all the other tools. It's that crucial layer that makes sure all this powerful tech is actually serving humanity, not the other way around.
So, okay, how do we actually put ethics like this into practice, especially in the real world of business? Well, one really powerful model for this is called the triple bottom line. And what it does is completely shift the focus of a business beyond just making money.
And here's the formula. It's pretty simple. The old way of thinking was just about product and profits, and the only goal was profit. But this new sustainable model, it's about balancing three things equally: people, the planet, and profit. It's a whole new definition of what success actually looks like.
Okay, let's pull all of this together now. We've talked about our goals, that true wealth hexagon. We've got our values, the 5 pillars. We've got our tools, the ABCDES, and we've got a new business model. We literally have a complete blueprint for building a better, more sustainable future.
And to make it all work, this is the mindset we have to get into. It's a huge shift in how we see things. We're not the owners of this planet. We're more like temporary custodians. And we have this massive responsibility to the generations who are going to come after us.
Just like this sign says, our journey is really just beginning. And that's the key thing to remember. Building a better future, it's not some final destination that we just arrive at one day. It's a constant, ongoing process of creation. And it's something we all contribute to every single day with every choice we make.
So I'll leave you with the one question that this entire framework really boils down to. The future isn't some place we're all just passively traveling to. It's something we are actively creating right now with the choices we make. So the only question left to ask yourself is, where do you want to go today?